Nako, round 2 ho tayo sa pagharap ng DOH para sa kanilang proposed 2026 budget dyan sa Senado. At itong si Auntie Claire, alangan ho siyang sumagot doon sa pagpapatawag ng hearing nitong si Senator Robin Padilla kaugnay sa pagpapakalat ng peking balita ng PCO. Palakpakan ho natin si Senator Robin Padilla. Pero bago yan, isang like at isang subscribe. Masaya na ho tayo dyan at sa mga gusto sa ating community, yung join button, nandyan lang ho sa baba. Ayun na nga mga kababayan, linaglag ho nitong si Auntie Claire, itong si Chris Roque. Yung DTI Secretary, kung di ho tayo nagkakamali, no? DTI Secretary. Ito hong si Roque. Sabi ho kasi nitong si Christina Roque, sapat na daw yung 500 piso para sa Noche Buena. Okay sana kung meron pa 500 piso, no? Sa hirap po ng buhay ngayon, swertihan ng ating mga kababayan kung meron pa silang 500 piso na gagamiting panghanda sa Noche Buena ng paparating. Ito, pakinggan natin si Auntie Claire. Unahin na ho muna natin yung mga sagot niya kay Senator Robin Padilla. Good!
At maaari na po akong tumanggap ng inyong mga katanungan.
Ba't naka-gray ho kayo ngayon? Naka-silver kayo? Ang unang tanong, saan ka nang galing sa mga nakalipas na araw? Ang daming naghahanap sa iyo, Ante.
Our first question, Catherine Domingo, ABS-CBN.
Ma'am, good afternoon. Ma'am, may we get your reaction on the resolution filed by Senator Robin Hood Padilla seeking an inquiry in aid of legislation regarding the performance of the PCO. I-divide ko po sana into two. First, the senator said that there are concerns regarding the dissemination of unverified, inconsistent, potentially propagandizing and misleading information from the PCO, which have contributed to public confusion, misinformation, or misinterpretation of government actions and policies. Yun muna, ma'am. Yun daw pong concerns.
Findings niya na ba po yan? Findings niya na po ba yan? Evaluation, verified? Although I believe it is in the resolution, but I would like to know if it is already, that concern is already verified, that there is unverified propagandizing that the PCO is doing? Is that what you're trying to say, Ms. Katrina?
Unfortunately, I do not have information as to how the senator gathered the data that he placed in his resolution. But how does the PCO respond to that insinuation that the senator has already incorporated into this document lodged before the Senate premises?
It is kind of sad. It is kind of disappointing.
Anong disappointing? Sinabi nyo, nagbitew. Sinabi nyo, nagbitew. Ngayon pala, sinibak. Di ba fake news tawag doon?
Because had he viewed the press briefing in full, he would have observed and witnessed how we deal with the government programs and government projects for the people. So, ganun lang po.
Sir, sorry ma'am, follow-up question. Another point he is raising is that there is public commentary criticizing aspects of the PCO's communication style. He alleges that some official communications have been delivered in a manner that is combative, rhetorical, or lacking in data-based clarity rather than as calm, fact-based, and public service-oriented messaging. And I guess he is pertaining to you because you are the face of the PCO so far.
That's what you guess. Well, anyway,
sino po?
I would like to...
Ikaw naman si Auntie Claire naman, no? Ikaw lang naman nagsasalita. Ikaw lang naman daldal ng daldal dyan. Bawat buka ng bunganga mo, puro Duterte kayo, di ba? Puro, puro nagdaang administration ng birhada mo eh. Ano bang ginawa mo dyan kung di atake ng mga Duterte?
Quote, the statement of Secretary Dave Gomez. That resolution, we welcome the filing of the resolution according to Sec Dave Gomez. Full cooperation ang PCO upang maliwanagan at matulungan ang Senado sa kanilang trabaho.
Yan.
Last from my end, what do you make out of Senator Padilla's recent rhetoric with regards to the PCO? First, we all know na he presented an audio clip alleging na ikaw po ay nakipag-usap sa isang troll, and then Now we have a resolution seeking inquiry in aid of legislation against the PCO.
Well, I guess as a senator, he should also provide proof,
Yan.
pieces of evidence to what he is, I don't want to say accusing, telling us some kind of negative on the part of the PCO.
Maraming salamat. Ivy Reyes, Bilyonaryo.
Good afternoon, Yusek. Former DOLE Secretary Silvestre Bello said he was removed as MECO chief because he declined an offer to run as congressman. He declined to offer to run against Congressman Ungab of Davao's 3rd District in exchange for 1 billion pesos and an assurance that he will have a cabinet post in case he loses the election. Have we heard from the president about this?
I talked to the president personally on this matter and he said, it's a lie.
It's a lie. Wala naman. Lahat ng inaakusa sa mga bangag na yan, it's a lie. Kayo naman oo. It's a lie yan.
And ma'am, may we know what's the reason behind Bello's removal from MECO?
You can ask him.
Ayun nga, sagot niya. Hindi niya pinagbigyan yung gusto ni Marcos Jr. Bira ka talaga.
But on the part of the president, it's a lie. There's no truth about that.
And speaking of cabinet positions, ma'am, may updates po ba sa cabinet revamp or reorganization natin?
Sa ngayon, wala pang ibinibigay na update. At kung meron pa, katulad sinabi mo po natin noong Wednesday, kapag mayroong update, ibibigay ko po sa inyo lahat. At mababalitaan naman po natin pag nagkaroon ng cabinet revamp ulit.
Maraming salamat. Maricel Halili, TV5.
Sa kamag-anak mo ata.
Magandang hapon po. Yusek, ano po ang paliwanag ng Malacanang doon sa recent video ni Zaldico, this time dragging the First Lady doon sa usapin ng rice importation at saka ng onions?
Alam naman ng First Lady at ng Pangulo ang katotohanan at nito lamang nakaraang araw ay si Secretary Kiko Laurel na po mismo ang nagpatunay kung ano ba ang katotohanan at kung ano ang naging karanasan niya sa pakikipag-usap o pakikipag-deal sa kanya ni Zaldico. So hanggang dyan lang po muna ang ating masasabi. At
Nako, sagutin mo. Ano pa? Oh, yun yung problema eh. Pakilamera kasi ang amo mong babae.
mas maganda malaman mo.
Mga mukhang pera kasi yung mga amo mo eh. Anti-Claire, real talk ha, mga mukhang pera, yung mga nasa Malacanang ngayon, walang kakabusugan. Anak ng toko, meron nung sila mga bahay sa Forbes Park. Yan mahal ho doon. Kung di tayo nagkakamali, 500,000 per square meter.
Muna lahat ang katotohanan mula kay Secretary Kiko Laurel.
Pero Yusek, what was the reaction of the First Lady when she learned about the recent accusation of Zaldico?
Kilala po natin ang First Lady kung paano mag-react sa mga ganitong negatibo na mga balita, mga kwentong walang basihan. Magkikibit balikat lang ang First Lady, alam natin kasi at alam niya kung anong katotohanan. At yun, may mga taong nagtatanggol at nagsasabi kung ano ba talaga yung nangyari.
Does the palace find this concerning or alarming considering na ilang videos na po yung nilalabas, inuunti-unti sinasama yung first family?
Makikita na naman po natin kung anong talagang motibo dito eh. Sabi nga natin, mas maganda po.
Ang motibo dito, yung dating appropriation chairperson, siya ang dinidiin. Ngayon, kumanta siya, linabas niya sa bayan ng Pilipino kung sino-sino yung mga amo niya. Ano motibo doon?
Na kung meron siyang video, dapat lahatan. Para hindi
ganun.
unti-unti at nagagamot kung ano yung mga pagkakamali sa mga una, pangalawa, pangatlong video. At ang hamon nga ng Pangulo, umuwi siya rito. Isabihin niya lahat ang kanyang mga sinasabi, patunayan niya ang katotohanan na sinasabi niya dito sa bansa at manumpa siya na yun ay katotohanan.
Salamat, Yusek.
Thank you. Eden Santos, Net25.
Yusek, dun po sa previous briefing po ninyo ay yung nabanggit, ano po na yung pagpahayag ni VP Sara na readiness to replace the president, batay na rin doon sa tanong nung interviewer, ay a form of political destabilization. Pwede po ba ninyong i-elaborate lang paano nyo nasabi na ito po ay forma ng destabilisasyon sa administrasyon?
Well, para lumambing tong si Mama no ngayon, itong sa Net25, wala na yung dating gigil mo, madam ha? Pagka magsasama dyan kay Auntie Claire. Oh.
Noong nakaraang araw po ay nasabi ko na kung
Oo.
bakit ito
Ulitin mo
ay
na lang.
maaaring form of political destabilization. So nasagot na po natin yan.
Pero parang under the Constitution naman po, the Vice President, siya po yung first in line to pwedeng pumalit po sa Pangulo. Nakalagay po yon either natanggal ang Pangulo, nag-resign, nagkaroon ng malalang sakit, or namatay po. May mali po ba doon sa kanyang sagot na siya yung pwedeng ready to replace the president?
Iba po ang sinasabi ng Konstitusyon. Tama po na siya po ang next in line and succession kapag ka po legal ang pagkakatanggal at pagkaka-remove sa Pangulo sa pwesto. Iba naman po yung nag-a-anticipate at sa gitna ng mga
Mag-anticipate naman. Ano mag-anticipate? Ang tanong sa kanya, handa ba siya kung sakaling mag-resign tong si Marcos Jr.? Sagot, handa siya. Pero hindi niya ina-anticipate.
isigaw ng kanyang mga kaalyado o ng mga supporter na bumaba ang Pangulo sa pwesto.
Ang daming
Magkaiba po yun.
kaartehan ni Auntie Claire, oo.
Thank you. Reminder lang po, one question, one
Kakagigil
follow-up.
ka na, ha?
Next is Chris Jose Remate.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, next week po, December na, ilang tulog na lang, sabi nga nila ay Pasko na. Pero ma'am, may sinasabi po si DTI Sec Roque na kasya na raw ang 500 pesos para makapaghanda sa Noche Buena. At ang sabi po niya, and I quote, kung tutuusin, 500, makakabili na kayo ng ham. Makakagawa ka ng macaroni salad. Makakagawa ka rin ng spaghetti. Depende rin po yan kung ilan yung kakainin.
Hindi naman siguro pwedeng pagsabay-sabayin. Pwede isa. Pwede ham.
Grabe naman yun. Ham, spaghetti, 500 piso. Baka, di kaya adik yung nagsabi, no? Natawa, paano pagkakasya yun?
Siguro. Meron namang murang ham.
Pambira, oo.
Meron, di ba? Yung per shape, mura lang yun. Well, anyway, hindi ko po yan masasagot sa ngayon dahil mismo po,
Nako.
ang DTI sa
Nako,
ating
nako,
pagkakaalam
nako.
ay magkakaroon din po ng scheduled press briefing.
Yan.
Ngayon, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, 1 o'clock. So, doon mas maganda po na mas maliwanag po niya kung ano po at paano niya makukompute yung pagbibili ng ham sa halagang 500 pesos. Baka dalawa nga po mabili sa ganun.
Pero ma'am, sa tingin nyo, kasya po ba ang 500?
Personal ko, kung magkukompute ako, kung bibili ako ng 1 kilo na ham na mumurahin, hindi yung may brand, pwede. Ham lang.
Magnonoche buena ka, ham lang. Walang keso, walang tinapay, ham lang.
Tapos si spaghetti. And
Depende kasi. Depende yan eh. Kung anong bibilin mo. Ano ba ang balak mo? Kasi di ba may nabibili naman na nakapack na yung pang chop suey. Mura lang yun. Tapos bumili ka ng bihon, toyo.
Nakakatawa, ha?
Pero ma'am, tama po ba na dapat pagkasyahin yung 500, lalo na po ngayon na nakaranas po ang bansa ng kalamidad?
Hindi. Ang tanong dyan sa tingin nyo ho ba patas lamang sa mga kababayan natin pagkakasyahin ng 500 piso habang yung mga opisyal ng pamahalaan bilyon-bilyon ang ninanakaw sa sambayanan? Dapat ganun ang tanong Ba naman pagtatanong yan? Nakwenta.
Ulit-ulit, kung dapat pagkasyahin.
Pagkasyahin yung 500 na pang Noche Buena, lalo na nakaranas sa mga...
At ito ba yung kwentuhan na lang tayo?
Kwentuhan na lang.
Depende. Kasi kung yun lang naman ang kaya ko.
Okay, ma'am.
At kaya ko namang tumingin sa mga may discount. May mga grocery stores na may discount. Pag malapit na yung, let's say, 3 months na dapat mabenta na ito lahat, depende po yan si diskarte. But still, sabi ko, hindi po ako sasagot.
Ano lang naman kumbaga, para lang sa soundbites, itong DTI, pwede naman nila sabihin, base sa aking pag-aaral, 2,500 pesos, medyo sasapat na yan para sa Noche Buena ng bawat isang pamilyang Pilipino. 2,500, yung 500, grabe naman ho yun. Isang araw na sahod ng isang minimum wage earner, yun na yung pang Noche Buena. Araw-araw ho, mag Noche Buena na kayo, anak ng Petang
On behalf
Karamata.
of DTI, dahil magkakaroon po sila ng kanilang press briefing.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay na yun. Okay na yun si Ante. Okay na. Lipat na tayo kay Senator Alan Peter Cayetano. Ano ho ito? Ito na yung tanong kung magre-resign na itong si Herbosa, DOA Secretary, kasi medyo nagkainitan ho sila nung huling pagkikita nila dyan sa Senado. Again.
Not only being here physically present several hours a day, but for your being on the ball on this budget. Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Pia, ang aking mahal na ate, thank you for being here the fourth time. Mr. Secretary, I also thank you for being here. Before that, may I express lang, Mr. President, that siguro umuwi kami ni Secretary the other night, parehong masama loob. But ako, hindi lang masama ng loob sa iyo, sa DOH performance mo, but sa sarili ko rin, because I am here to express not only the aspirations of our people, but also yung frustration. So if I was in any way disrespectful, that wasn't the intent. Siguro nga kasi sa budget hearing lang. So I won't elaborate kasi hindi ko naman alam mangyayari ngayong hapon. And if the Senate President will allow, I will, and remind me anytime, Mr. President, if I am not addressing my question to you, which is the proper procedure, and if the Secretary can do the same so that we can somehow maintain both our composure. There are certain questions that I wish you answer because of two things. I was former Speaker of the House and I was former Secretary of Foreign Affairs. There are certain things na nasa fingertips dapat natin yan. So like when I'm Speaker, I have to know how many congressmen meron. When are the session days? Did I attend this or that? Diba? But of course, if it's statistics, if I ask you certain things about the vaccines that obviously shouldn't be at the top of your head, just ask permission. May my staff pass me a note or anything. In fact, Senwin, di ba, nung bata tayong congressman, may index cards usually in departments eh. Tapos iaabot yun sa secretary. But again, di ba, for example, kung sobra ang delay every year ng procurement, you expect the secretary to talk to the back or to the USEC in charge to know it. Di ba? So kung may isa kang vaccine na delay o yung flu shot na delay, patatawagin mo sila to explain, I'll accept that. Pero kung 2-3 years na parating late, wala, delayed, and then hindi natin masagot, I'm not saying hindi nyo masasagot, of course, I'll ask you. I don't mind you having a computer. Obviously, you prepared today. But there are certain questions that are there. No? So, Mr. Secretary, siguro din para ano, if it's a yes or no question, please give me a yes or no, then you can explain. Now, if it's not a yes or no question, just tell me that's not a yes or no question. Because by training, I am a lawyer. So, kung hindi tayo mag-agree, for example, kung totoo o hindi yung no billing, I will ask you preliminary questions to lay the basis. Totoo ba na ito policy? Yes or... Kasi kung hindi yun ang policy, then no. Kung yun ang policy, yes. No? So anyway, Mr. President, with your permission, with the permission of the Secretary, we had, and of course Senator Pia, we had a long discussion last year on stunting. And he even came to see me in my office and I honor you for that. At sinabi mo mga may bagong programa, we will have some progress next year. And paulit-ulit ko sinasabi yung sinabi ng isa sa pinakamatalino. Tingin ko hindi naman siya pinakamatalino dahil si Solomon ang on record na wisest. But isa sa pinakamatalino sa ating mundo ay si Einstein. At sabi ni Albert Einstein, kung paulit-ulit nating ginagawa and we expect a different result, that is insanity. Or some sa Facebook say that's stupidity. So I don't want people to call the Philippine government, the Senate, the DOH as stupid if, and in this case sa stunting, hindi lang DOH to. This is a whole of government approach dapat. Pero kailangan may timon.
Happy birthday ho muna dito kay Justin Tulang. Mega love shoutout. Happy birthday sa'yo. Nakita ko lang.
So hindi pwedeng several years na almost 30% of our people, of our children, are endangered of stunting. Tapos we just say, nagdagdag pondo here o ganyan. So gusto ko lang sanang himayin yon. So I'll give you the first chance, Secretary.
Mahaba-haba ho ito, mga kababayan.
Say what you want about stunting and how we're addressing it, please, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. For our stunting rates, when I came in, it was a very high 27%, and we're trying to lower it to at least 20%, 19%. The latest statistics show that we have some success. What we have done, what my predecessor has done, was actually to take on a World Bank loan called the Philippine Multisectoral Nutrition Project. It was a pilot project to use digitalization and to use different sectors, DSWD, DA, DOH, to actually address the problem of stunting in the Philippines. So that project is about to end. We are actually proposing a continuation of the multisectoral project. In fact, that project, nanganak na po, meron na rin yung Zero Hunger Coalition, yung DSWD. Kapartner po namin ang DSWD, Mr. President, in trying to lower stunting rates. So, ang idea here is that the Department of Health is able to address the people that are the children that are from the time of the womb, the first 1,000 days, all the way to 2 years old, magkaroon na sila ng proper feeding. So yung buntis pa lang, binibigyan na ng proper nutritions, micronutrients. So pag lumabas yung bata, mabigay lahat ng bakuna para hindi sila magkaroon ng sakit at lalong pumayat. And then dinagdag na rin namin yung programa on water, sanitation, and hygiene, because many kids, even if they're given proper nutrition, they end up with chronic diarrhea, which also leads again to stunting and weight loss. So yan po in a gist yung Mr. President, yung ating ginagawang programa for stunting in the Philippines.
Yes. Mr. President, of course I recognize yung any success, no? I mean, hindi to parang sports na parang dati talo kami ng 30 points, ngayon talo na lang kami ng 20 points, talo ka pa rin. Dito, kahit hindi statistic, every single mother, every single child that is removed from the list na endangered, we appreciate that. No? Having said that, syempre titignan natin kung may programa talaga that will get rid of or beat the stunting. No? Before that, Mr. President, I'd just like to acknowledge also Dr. Edwin Mercado and thank him for patiently going through with my staff certain things, making us understand better the process, and we'll go to that later, Mr. Secretary, yung PhilHealth, no? So, Mr. Secretary, linawin natin yung statistics sa stunting para klaro sa ating mga kababayan. So, yung endangered na stunting, ilan %? Or what are the categories of the statistics? Meron yung tinatawag na prevalence po, di ba?
Mr. President, we have the prevalence of stunting among children under 5, and this is a study all the way from back to 1989, when we had figures as high as 44.5%. Today, it's now 17.9% stunting. So.
That's from what? My statistic is 23%.
23.6.
23.6.
Then 23.6. So the projection is to 17.9 by 2028 by the time.
Nakakalungkot ho yung naging decision ng ICC sa interim release ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Actually, tinigil ho natin tong video na to, tapos dito ho lang natin itinuloy. Pinanood ho natin yung video na naka-upload dyan sa pagdinig ng ICC dun sa interim release ni Tatay Digong. Sobrang nakakabasag ng puso. Walang yata talaga tong adik na to nung ginawa sa Pilipinas. Binaboy ho niya.
Administration ends.
That will be great if that happens, no? But that's why we are asking questions now, so that pare-pareho tayong may confidence that yun yung trajectory, no? So yung prevalence, please define. So kasi yung endangered potential, klaro yon, di ba? So kung sasabihin mong 80% of smokers we know what that means, no? So in my readings, between 30 to 33% of Filipinos are endangered. So I guess it's also the environment, poverty, di ba, malnutrition in the area, di ba? Pero malayo naman yung statistics ng prevalence dun sa potential na ma-stunt. But of course, we still have to look at yung potential kasi parang 4Ps lang yan eh.
Correct.
Naka-recover na pero nagkaroon ng baha, nagkaroon ng bagyo, nagkaroon ng sunog, balik to square one yon, di ba? So pag sinabing potential, let's say kung ang barn halimbawa gumaganda yung health, pero God forbid magkagulo, babalik na naman yung rate nung stunting, no? So sa pag sinabing prevalence, anong ibig sabihin? Yun na yung stunted at that time or what?
Yes, Mr. President. Pag prevalence, it's the number of kids that are stunted. So pag sinabing 23.6%, so all under 5 kids, meron tayong 2 out of 10 kids na stunted.
Since I'm not a doctor, but you and Dr. Mercado are doctors, respected doctors, tell us a little bit about stunting. No? What is it? And then at what age nagiging irreversible? And when you say irreversible, is it both the physical or pati sa mental?
That's correct, no? So, inaral na rin to nung EDCOM, I think a committee that was created, a commission that was created by the Senate. So the problem of stunting is not only physical. So stunted, we have kids that don't grow very tall, no? So we have people in the remote provinces that are only up to 4'11" or even 5 feet, and they're adults already. But the real impact on stunting is really brain stunting. So the brain develops at a younger age. So it stops growing after 6, 5, and 7 years old. So if we're unable to grow the brain to the proper size, nagkakaroon ng learning difficulties in school. I think the EDCOM was trying to study the root cause of why we have learning difficulties, and that why we were lowest in Southeast Asia in the cognitive. So yung cognitive is the learning capability. So if the kid is stunted, the brain also doesn't develop, Mr. President, and then, of course, the brain becomes smaller. So it's not the physical height, it's like the outward appearance na yung bata stunted. Problem is, naayos ba yung brain development niya, so that even if we give them education, good public primary education, hindi natututo, they have difficulty in school. So yun yung bigger impact why we as a government needs to address stunting.
So some call it linear growth failure, no? Or sa Filipino, di ba yung well, is there another word for bansot or pagbabansot sa in our Filipino language?
Bansot is the term for
Yes.
stunting, yeah.
So and basically it's a linear growth failure. No?
I prefer to call it impaired cognitive development.
Impaired cognitive.
So what we're scared of is the impaired cognitive
So
development.
in other words, when the mother is healthy and the child is has the proper nutrition upbringing in the first 1,000 days, he's free from potential stunting, no? But number one cause ng stunting is nutrition.
Yes, both the actual nutrition of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, but also micronutrients like iron, folic acid, which also allows the brain to develop.
Which over the years, as you said, 44%, that probably 60s or 70s. That's why over the years, for example, yung mga salt na may iron or yung, you know, there's been developments all over, di ba? Of course, labeling ng foods para alam natin kapag ano yung nutrition, prenatal check-ups na ini-encourage, etc. No? But the point I want to make, which you agreed with naman last year, is that somehow our strategy is not working, or if it's not working enough. Diba? As I said kanina, ang stunting kasi parang sunog eh. Either napatay mo o hindi. Diba? Kasi yung sunog, pag sinabi ko sa iyo, 50% napatay na namin, that's good news. Pero pag hindi mo napatay yung other 50%, lalaki ulit yung yung sunog. So ang problema sa stunting, if it's that big, 30% ang endangered, 23% ang stunted, at what age pala, sir, does this become irreversible?
About 6. So that's our problem, Mr. President, as you said correctly. Medyo we've been doing the same thing over the years. We've given our budget highest to the Department of Education. Nando dun yung feeding program natin. But the people that go to DepEd on the public school is already above 6. So kung na-stunt na yung brain nila before the first 1,000 days, kahit i-feed natin sila, hindi na natin na-reverse. Yun yung sinasabi yung linear growth regression. So what happens is, we talked about this in the cabinet, nag-usap-usap kami to try to put this. So now nutrition is one of those included in convergence budgeting. Kasi nga, nung nakita
Can
namin...
you explain that? So nung nag-usap
nangyari,
kayo, pumayag si Sec Sani and si Sec Rex.
So nakita nila so what happens in feeding is the first 1,000 days is DOH talaga. Yung buntis, yung antenatal checkup, yung bakuna sa bata, and the vitamins for the first up to 2 years old. Pagdating sa before school age, it's DSWD. So yung feeding program before school age, DSWD gumagawa nun. Tapos pagdating ng DepEd, pag nasa eskwelahan na sila, DepEd yung may
So let me stop you there and acknowledge that because our chairman, Senator Win, did explain that, or I mean, Sec Sani did explain that through Sen Win, and then same nung si Senator Pia ang sponsor kay Sec Rex. Pero both of them acknowledge walang point person pa sa stunting. So is DOH now the will spearhead, or kasi pati yung World Bank program, yes, multisectoral, all of government. Pero may official or unofficial chairman ba yun, o timon or captain ball on it?
Mr. President, we currently have 2 councils addressing nutrition. One is an old council called the National Nutrition Council. So ito yung naggagawa ng strategy together with DA, all the other
Ito po yung napanood natin, pero ang utak natin ay nandun sa PRRD, no? Kasi kung gugustuhin lang ho ng Estado na mapauwi itong si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, walang Kaufman na kailangan. Walang Kaufman. Ang lahat ng resources ng pamahalaan, ibubuhos nila yan para makuha ang dating presidente. Pero dito, ang Petrang Garapata po.
Government agencies,
Pakalungkot
yung mga
talaga sa
policies.
tulang.
And then yung bagong nagawa was the Zero Hunger Council, correct? It's an interagency task force for zero hunger. So that was created by...
And Mr. Secretary, anong role mo dun sa dalawang council niya?
Chair ako doon sa National Nutrition Council at co-chair po kami doon sa IATF for zero hunger.
So can I ask you to be the stunting SAR? At least while you're there, and if it's until 2028? Kasi if you're co-chair of that too, and multisectoral, kasi in the Philippines, pag walang na-hold accountable, it's a hard task.
Correct.
But someone has to do it eh. So, dumaan ba sa'yo yung budget proposal ng National Nutrition Council muna?
Yes po, naka-attached yan sa ating NEP.
Yes, but I mean, the Secretary submits it di ba?
Correct.
So did you put any increase, did you propose any increase for them?
Yes, sir. We propose for an increase in the...
No coaching muna ha, kasi napakalaking problema to, and I want to know. No, it's okay kasi nga that's your job to... Even si Yusek, he's welcome. Nasaan si Yusek last time?
Napunta ko muna Mr. President sa likod.
I'm not mad at him, and he has many friends here who told me he's a good guy. Asek. Hindi lang, Mr. President, Mr. Secretary, ako napagalitan ako ng professor ko, Attorney Binluan, for coaching my classmate. Ang masama, yung classmate ko yun nag-drop out, kaya sayang yung coach ko sa kanya. Pero I learned my lesson na pag sinabi na nung teacher, no coaching, don't. So yun lang namang kinagalit ko kay ASEC na sinabi ko ng wag, siguro loyal sa'yo. I had that kind of ASECs. I hope my staff, but listen to each other tayo. So he's welcome and he can join you dyan sa harap. I'm not, he's not banned from the Senate, and everyone is saying he knows his job. So going back, sa tier 1 nyo ba nilagay yung increase?
Yes, Mr. President.
And more or less lang, or sige, you can tell the Secretary, magkanong hiningin yung increase for the Nutrition Council? But Sec, I mean, I don't want to go ballistic, etc. But, di ba, like ako, nung sa Foreign Affairs, dalawa ang pinupinteriya ko every single cabinet meeting. dagdagan yung pondo na, dalawa yon, LAF, yung legal assistance, at saka yung isa na para sa welfare, tapos passports. So anytime ako tinanong, magkano sinabit mo kay Sec Joc, no, magkano, alam ko in my heart, and kung hindi niya ibigay, so kung hiningi ko 1 billion, ang binigay 600 million, I know it in my heart. Kasi yun ang priority ko eh. So I was really hoping na priority nyo talaga ang anti-stunting. No? So how much did you ask
Mr.
for?
President, ang hiningi po namin ay 2.4, almost 2.5, 2.489 billion.
For the Nutrition Council.
For the National Nutrition Council.
Ang binigay
Pero
300.
Tier 2 po nilagay ng DBM ito.
No. Ang naglalagay sa Tier 1 or 2 kayo, hindi DBM. Okay? Oh. So for people listening, the department submits its budget. Pag Tier 1, yun yung
Mr.
priority.
President, can I just add some information? Yeah. Just so for the record, as far as the Senate is concerned, we did not receive any request for additional budget for NNC. We have many requests for additional budget for DOH and DSWD, which I also handle on supplemental feeding, etc. But for National Nutrition Council, none. And also for the record, there's a decrease in the budget, but that is because may capital outlay in the previous year that was no longer needed this year. And final point is, they usually, well, their focus is policy. Maybe the secretary can elaborate on that. But we are quite happy with the 3.3 billion supplemental feeding. But that goes to DSWD. But just to know that, for the body to know that we
that
recommend
is
them.
most helpful
And the chairman
information,
accepted.
because the 2 points I want to make, if it's not a priority, it's not a priority. Diba? We can probably have per department baka 3, malaki na yung 5 na priority. But above that, the reality is, pag sinabi ng DBM or ng Congress, Senate, ikakat yan. So
And
the second,
sorry, one last, just to complete the picture. This whole nutrition program starts with the first 1,000 days when the mother is pregnant. So there is a 900 million request which we submitted to the Finance Committee, and the Finance Committee informed us that they will grant it. But again, this is the DSWD budget,
Yes.
because as the Secretary said, some budgets are with the DSWD, some are with DOH, and some are with DepEd, for the information of the
and I will merge that with information from Sec Rex, yung about the nutrition scholars, the barangay health workers, who are our heroes, who knows best sa pagbabahay-bahay. Most of our barangay health workers, and let me honor Senator J.V. Ejercito, nandun ako sa LEDAC. You were on your Senate break kasi hindi kayo senador at the time, Mr. President. Kaya ko lang kayo hindi binabanggit. So, Senator J.V. is pushing na magkaroon ng sweldo ang ating mga barangay health workers. Fortunately, sa Taguig, I think contractual. So they're making much more. There are certain cities that have done it. Nutrition scholars. Ang request nga nila, di ba? Rubber shoes at saka anti-rabies kasi hinahabol sila ng mga aso sa pagkakatok nila araw-araw. But the point I wanted to make is whether it's symbolic that the council who is fighting for our health, our nutrition, anti-stunting, or whether it is, may problema nga sa policy eh. Diba? So, ang survey na ginagawa ng, 2 survey ang nagaganap, Mr. Secretary, every year, diba? Ang National Nutrition Survey conducted by DOST Food and Nutrition every 5 years. Diba? And mukhang masyadong malayo ang 5 years. Kasi kung every 5 years, paano natin alam kung yung intervention natin last year or this year, di ba? So if you had it, even if it's not the whole of the Philippines, let's say, sa yung pagkaalam, Secretary, saan ang worst prevalence ng 2 or 3 provinces na worst ang prevalence ng stunting?
So we have actually the remote areas in Mindanao, mataas ang stunting. We have the island provinces.
Okay.
Merong
So
mga
I'll take that, but BARM is number 1. So I would suggest both to DST, to the National Nutrition, and to DOH, you use BARN as one of your pilot projects. Di ba? Na whether 3, 6 months, I don't know yung survey kung ano, but masyadong matagal tong sa National Nutrition. Second, the National Demographic and Health Survey by the Philippine Statistics Authority. But obviously, if you remember yung Brexit and yung unang panalo ni President Trump, hindi nahuli ng survey yon. Sa survey, hindi mananalo ang Brexit eh. Sa survey, hindi rin mananalo yung si President Trump nung una. So obviously, garbage in is garbage out. So this is not garbage. But I'm saying, if this is gold, baka may mga diamond sa survey na hindi natatanong eh. So for example, yung isang diamond na si Sec Rex at saka si Sec Sani ang nagsabi, aside from the EDCOM, is that it's really 0 to 11 months and then 12 months to 2 years. But yung isa din nilang sinabi is that how do you get to the mothers? Diba? So, sa policy ba, because you're chair, so how many meetings does the National Nutrition Council have in a year?
We meet quarterly,
Quarterly.
Mr. President. Yes.
And you attend all of them?
Yes, I chair all of them.
More or less? Or
More or less.
More or less.
There are
How many times have you traveled since you became secretary?
Last year, 11.
And the year before?
The year before, 23, I think 6.
And then this year?
This year, ilan? I forget.
And when you travel, how long are you out of the country usually?
A few days, because I only attend the meetings.
But itong last budget hearing, sabi ng staff mo, 2 weeks? Or 2 weeks yung conference?
No, I went
2
to
weeks yung conference.
I went to a
2 weeks.
WHO regional meeting.
Which was
and
in
it was
2
5
weeks.
days
5
only.
days, okay.
So the travel time was 1
And
day
that
each.
travel usually doesn't interrupt your chairing PhilHealth or National Nutrition Council.
We scheduled the council meetings when I'm available.
How about PhilHealth? Have you attended?
Yes, I always attend the PhilHealth.
Okay. So you're familiar with
Yes.
their ano. So can you tell us in a nutshell anong change in policy ang sinasuggest ng National Nutrition Council? Then we'll go back to the budget.
Well,
what is the 1, 2, 3 or one thing or 1, 2, 3 things that they want to change so that we can have an impact sa anti-stunting?
Dalawang pinag-uusapan doon. One is the Tutok Kainan program, which is a program that they implemented. It's that they implement through the barangay nutrition scholars. So ito yung making sure that the Pinggang Pinoy is implemented
Mr.
in the
President,
communities.
Secretary, can I interrupt while you're talking at
Yes.
one by one? No? So in that, how much money do we have for that program and who's implementing that?
Yun yung, Mr. President, na requested namin na tier to about 2.3 billion
Okay.
to implement the program.
And then under the council yon.
Under the council, but personally, I prefer that the feeding programs or the nutrition programs be in the Bureau of Public Health, because that's where the nutrition program is. And the council is really just like a board. It's
And
the different agencies, DA.
I understand. So parang PDEA versus yung Dangerous Drug Board.
Correct,
diba? Yung
correct.
implementer, yung PDEA. Okay, having said that, ang barangay health workers who are mostly volunteers at nutrition scholars, of course, are under barangay and the city.
LGU, yes.
But may supervision ang DOH?
Correct. So we do training for them. We do, like for example,
So
yung
is that under the regional director?
Yes. Well, they're under the LGU,
Yes.
but we coordinate through regional. We also have regional council, regional nutrition areas that actually support them.
Okay.
But our RDs actually do.
The reason I
implement
ask
the
you, I'm
program.
trying to figure out what to recommend to Senator Pia and Senator Win, because if you have the money sa DepEd, you have the money sa DSWD, you have the money from World Bank here, pero yung accountability magulo, baka, Senator Win, we can propose, let's say, the top 3 or top 5 na most stunted, ilagay natin lahat sa ilalim ng public health, just for 1 year, to see nga if it makes an impact and a change. I think the highest is BARM, 34.3%. Prevalence to, ha? Prevalence. Senator Robin is here and he's been championing this. Senator Robin is a man of peace. Sa sine lang yung bad boy, pero dito good boy yan. But you know, I was telling him kanina, can you imagine, Mr. Secretary, if you're 5, 6 years old now at stunted ka, then at the time you're 20 years old, you're functional except stunted. Nabasa mo to, tapos lumaki ka, you were 3 years old, 2 years old nung Marawi siege, tapos ganyan nangyari sa'yo, baka magrebelde ka. Diba? So, if we do not address the so many injustices in Barn, and then 1 out of 3 are stunted, then makikita nila ang, halimbawa, ang Central Luzon na sa below 20%, below 20%, di ba? Parang, bakit kayo pinapaboran doon? Which is not the case. But then, if we don't do an intervention now, ganun mangyayari. Soc-Sargen, 33%, Zamboanga Peninsula, 31%. Ang layo, Ilocos Region, 16%, Central Luzon, 16.1%, Cagayan Valley, 16.6%. So kung Metro Manila ang 16 mo, the money is all here, the hospitals are here, the head offices, it's understandable eh. But if we can do this in Ilocos, Central Luzon, and Cagayan Valley, I think we can lower the prevalence rates in Barm, Soc-Sargen, and Peninsula if we really put our acts together. So my question nga, Mr. Secretary, if pinag-uusapan nyo yung cabinet, etc., bakit hindi namin nararamdaman yung sense of urgency? Is it just because maraming ibang urgent or nasa news lang kasi parati yung corruption or flooding? Di ba? Kasi ang in-expect ko, ang chairman namin, through you or kayo, or you present to us, it's just like vaccines eh. Pag kami nagsita sa inyo, it doesn't mean na lahat ng kasalanan sa inyo, pero naghihintay kami, bakit hindi nyo sinasabi sa amin kung ano problema o anong solusyon? So in other words, masama na yung hindi proactive, masama na nga yung hindi active, galit na nga tayo kung reactive. Pero if we feel, I'm not saying it's true, I'm talking about perception. If ang perception namin, wala nang action, wala pang reaction, di ba? So meaning, if Secretary